Coming up on Oakdale Update, we'll get a preview of Summerfest from our Assistant Administrator. We'll introduce you to a new business in the city, and we'll check out the latest happenings at the Oakdale Library. Stay tuned. Oakdale Update is straight ahead. Hello, and welcome to Oakdale Update. I'm your host, Frank Orsello. This is the City of Oakdale's news and information program about your community. The annual Oakdale Summerfest celebration is held each June at Walton Park. This year's dates are June 23rd through the 25th. Assistant Administrator Jason Fouts is here to talk more about Summerfest. Jason, thanks for joining us on Oakdale Update.
Thanks for having me again, Frank.
Okay. Hey, how long have you been the Assistant City Administrator now?
A little over a year and a half.
That's all?
That's it.
Seems like you've been around forever.
I'm sure it does to you.
Hey, so how's everything going? Is you okay?
It's going well.
Yeah. You having a good time?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
one of the jobs you inherited was the Summerfest.
Yes.
Taking over the Summerfest. How long have you had that?
As soon as I assumed the position of Assistant Administrator, I started my responsibilities of helping to plan and facilitate Summerfest.
Okay. And who was your predecessor?
David Shops was the predecessor. He had done it the year before, and he took over from Ted Berth.
Ted Berth. And Ted Berth is the man who started it all, correct?
He is Mr. Summerfest.
And
yes.
would you tell us a little bit about him and what he did?
Well, he created a great legacy for the city of Oakdale with Summerfest. He started it 33 years ago. And from my understanding, it started off over where Kmart used to be, or where the new Cub is. Mm-hmm. It was just an empty field, and that's where they started off with the carnivals and doing everything out over there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure how many years ago it moved to Walton Park by City Hall. Mm-hmm. That's where it is today. Okay.
One of the big things, well, let me ask you this. How successful has this Summerfest been over the years?
It's been very successful. We had a few years ago, things started to wane a little bit. I think people got, I don't want to say complacent, but it was just not much had changed. And so we've been trying to breathe a little life back into it and advertise it a little more. Mm-hmm. Shockingly enough, as I was starting my first year of planning last year, people said, "Oh, I never know when Summerfest is happening."
Oh, really?
Until the street gets shut down for the parade.
Oh, wow.
And so we're trying to create a little more awareness for Summerfest and getting the information out there so people know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So when do you start planning for Summerfest?
Summerfest planning usually starts in September. So we take about 2 months off. We have a month to where we review how the last Summerfest went in August, and then we start planning and moving in September, because the bands that we get, they're already booking for the next year.
Sure.
So we need to try to get the bands early.
Sure. So now you've got, you said you revamped it more or less. What are some of the new things that you put in?
Well, we didn't so much as revamp it, but just tried to breathe a little life into it. So sure. I guess that does count as revamping. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we shortened it for one thing. We had talked with a lot of the vendors, and the Sunday just didn't see a lot of attendance. So we cut off the Sunday activities sponsored by the city. It's now optional for the vendors, and the carnival is still running. But we moved all those Sunday events to Saturday. So now the boxing happens on Saturday, the car show happens on Saturday. Mm-hmm. We don't do a band on Sunday night, so we do those all the first 3 nights. And one of the other things we did, and last year was our first year, was to move the fireworks from 4th of July. We moved them up to a week to Summerfest, and we do the fireworks at that point in time.
Highly successful too, the fireworks, are
yes.
they not?
Yes.
I mean, they always have been, but they were down at Tanner's Lake, which is it just didn't work well, did it?
No, we didn't have the room, and there was some safety issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there was an accident or anything that happened, getting emergency crews in would have been problematic.
So how are you working at this year or the last couple of years with the fireworks up at Walton Park?
Yes.
And do you have buses or what? Because parking is still somewhat of a problem.
Parking's an issue. That's just something that we will, I think, always struggle with the city of Oakdale and Summerfest, is having enough parking spaces. No, we're not busing people in. You kind of have to fend for yourself on it. But we do the fireworks out on the west side on those practice fields, and there's plenty of seating for people to sit, and wide open space. And
so we just have to count on walking. No matter what, you got to count on walking.
Unfortunately, that's all we got.
I mean, it just seems to me you could use like a Hy-Vee parking lot and maybe a couple buses coming and going.
Well, that all involves costs.
Yes.
And it's infinite wants with limited budget.
All right, fine.
So.
All right, listen, let's go over some of the things. We only got a couple minutes left here, but let's go over. So, actually, you tell me, what are all the things that are going to be done? Just read your list there.
All right, well, we start off with the parade.
Yes.
Parade happens Thursday night. That night, we also have Elvis impersonators performing. Friday night, we have Rockin' Hollywoods again. They're kind of a tradition we don't want to let go of. And then Saturday night is a band called Rhino. They do some country and rock and a few other things. And after their performance, we close things out with fireworks. We also have, last year we had a petting zoo come in, and they were a great hit. They had an alligator and a porcupine to pet, and this year they're coming back for 3 days instead of 1. There's a medallion hunt that happens. That starts the week of Summerfest, which it's a great hit. We have a car show, and there's a 5 and 10K run, and yeah, it's just jam-packed.
Now, I want to get back to the parade. I think they've gotten cut it. It was so big at one time, and so many years before you got here, but it was so big at one time, I think it took like 2 hours to get the whole parade through, starting at Transfiguration, going all the way up, and that was just too much. Now, I know you whittled it down somewhat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how are you filled this year?
We're probably about 2/3 full right now.
So you still have a little space?
A little bit of space. We end up usually having about 80 plus entries, and so we're about 2/3 of that right now.
Okay, so if somebody were interested in being in the parade, they could call Laura Hinke, is that correct?
Laura HEIMKES.
HEIMKES.
Yes, at the Oakdale Recreation Department.
Okay, the number is being flashed up on the screen even as we speak.
All right.
Okay, now all you have to do is hope for good weather, is that correct?
That's we keep our fingers crossed. Last year we had an amazing event because the weather cooperated with us, and we're crossing our fingers we have another one this year.
And I think 2 years ago, there was a tentative major storm coming through, and they had to cancel the parade, I believe, right?
Yes.
Is that right? But I think they erred on the side of safety,
yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah, with that many people crammed into a small spot, the forecast that we were looking at, it was probably safer to cancel it. And even though nothing hit, you know,
it just happened that way, but it could have gone the other way too.
Absolutely.
I understand. It was the right thing to do. All right, give me the dates one more time.
June 23rd through June 25th.
And that will be coming up soon.
Quicker than we know.
Yes. Well, Jason, thanks for coming on today, and thanks for all the hard work you have to do on Summerfest.
Thank you.
It's no easy thing, is it?
No. But I couldn't do it without the amazing Summerfest committee we have.
Absolutely.
They're awesome.
Who are some of the people on the committee?
We have Pam Jungman. She's the one responsible for getting the bands. Amy Brown from Amy Brown Insurance has been helping out. She's been from the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Gary Masterman's been out. He's been trying to help raise some money from the businesses to help offset some costs and increase different things. And then we have some city staff, Julie Williams and Jeff Kuzling, Jim Romanek.
Okay.
It's been great.
Good, and you work well with these people. And a lot of them have been on this for a long time.
Oh, I couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely. Jason, we have to run. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's now time for our Business Spotlight segment. Each month we profile a different business in our community. Here's this month's business.
If you've got loads of laundry to clean, then head over to the newest laundromat in Oakdale, which just happens to be called Loads of Laundry. Owner RUSS Scherping opened Loads of Laundry in August.
All the equipment's brand new, washers and dryers. We have washers and dryers that accommodate large loads as quilts, comforters, area rugs, sleeping bags. But one of the services we have here, or not service, but is the ozone water, which is water that's been treated to reduce bacteria and viruses on contact, improves the smell of your clothes, and also increases the drying time of a load. So, but in reality, it's better for the environment too. It's green, as you could say, as today's services are going forward.
Besides the state-of-the-art washers and dryers, Loads of Laundry has other amenities for customers, including a TV, Wi-Fi, and seating areas.
It's well lit. It's security, security here. automatic front sliding door, which is a nice feature that customers comment on, especially if the elderlies come in with laundry baskets full. It means you don't have to push any doors open. We have laundry carts, a bathroom that's well maintained and so forth. And so it's just a well-kept, well-cleaned place.
There are weekly specials at Loads of Laundry, including $1 off washes on Wednesdays and free drying on Fridays for loyalty card members. Loads of Laundry is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. They're located on 12th Street North, just a half block north of the Oakdale Post Office.
It's time for a short break, but first, here's a reminder. To reduce breeding areas, the Minnesota Mosquito Control will pick up rimless truck and car tires for free during the summer months. Call them at 651-645-9149, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We'll be right back with more of Oakdale Update in just a minute.
This month, I'm pleased to welcome Joel Anderson with me to help provide some insight into a new innovative biz recycling program established by Ramsey County. We talked about ways to save tax money and help the environment all at the same time. All of this on Your Business Matters.
Welcome back to Oakdale Update. In addition to all the great books, movies, and other media you can find at the Oakdale Library, there's always great events there too. Here with me to talk more about the Oakdale branch of the Washington County Library System is manager Martha RIEL. Martha, thanks for joining us on Oakdale Update.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself, your career, your education, that sort of thing.
I have been working for the Washington County Library System for 8 years now. Before that, I've been a librarian for about 35 years at other libraries in other states. I became the manager at the Oakdale Library 2 years ago. Libraries have kind of been my life for a long time now.
They're wonderful places. I'm a big reader. I love it. But let me ask you, I want you to tell me about the Washington County Library System in general.
Okay.
Tell me where it all covers and in general.
Washington County Library System has 6 buildings within Washington County. In Hardwood Creek, up in Forest Lake, in Matamidi, the Oakdale, the Wildwood is Matamidi, the Oakdale Library, the Woodbury Library, Forest Lake, and the Lakeland Library, the Valley Library in Lakeland. In addition, we have 3 pickup places where our drop centers, where our lockers that you can come pick up your books after hours, 24 hours a day, that you can place books and pick them up. And we have 2 associate libraries in Bayport and Stillwater that we work with that are separate. In addition to that, we have a law library located at the Government Center.
I didn't know that.
It's a wonderful place to do research, to get help from professional law librarians.
Really? I didn't know that.
Available both for governments and for individuals can come in and use it.
So me, if I wanted to look up a legal item of some sort, I could go out to the Washington courthouse there, huh?
Yes. And they have experts in the area who know a lot more about laws than the rest of us, and legal stuff, and all the complete reference tools that you can use there.
Well, you've got to get that out, get that word out.
We try and spread that as much as we can. It's an
I
excellent
didn't know.
resource.
Well, certainly. Okay, let's now. Obviously, we have a pretty good system. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a very good
system. And you've been here 8 years, and so and you can make comparisons to other places that you've been. All right. Now, there's been some talk when there was Lake Elmo opted to come out of our system. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
So a number of years ago, Lake Elmo chose to withdraw their funding from the county system and use their share of the county funding as a local library building instead of part of the county library system. This regretfully means that that Lake Elmo residents, people who live in the city of Lake Elmo, can only use limited resources at the public libraries, the other public libraries in Washington County, because they are no longer supporting it in a tax base.
I happened to be sitting in at a council meeting in Lake Elmo one time, and there were a lot of people that came up and said, I go over to Lake Elmo, or the Oakdale Library, and I can't use it. I can get some stuff, but I can't use it completely because we aren't part of the system.
Correct.
And these people were very concerned about their young children that just weren't able to use the things you have there. So probably sounds not, probably wasn't a good idea, but what do I know? All right, now, I'm looking back when I was a little boy, I'd go to the library, read books, take books home with me, and that was it. Things have changed, have they
Yes,
not?
they have.
The technology and other things. Give me an overall of the tech part of how libraries have changed.
Well, one of the big things that has changed is we now have downloadable books. You can download a digital book to put on your Kindle or other e-readers or on your computer at home. We also have downloadable audiobooks that you can download and listen to without actually coming into the library once you get your library card. And we have downloadable magazines. Also, many of our online databases are available from home. There's only a couple of them that aren't. So you can use your library card at home, go online, log into any of these databases and do your research right at home. If you need to print something out, you can print on your own printer at home. They're also available in the library for people who don't have home computers, but many people just access them remotely.
Have you ever done any surveys to see who is using your services? And the reason I say that is because young people today get everything off their iPhones and computers and that sort of thing. Do they sit down and read books?
Yes, we have 2 book clubs that are for middle school and high school kids that are attended, and we often have waiting lists to get on those.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And book discussions. We also have a large group of readers all the way from small children and the preschool story hours we do, up through high school kids who many of them still prefer to read the books in print, but they also download.
And they turn pages, is that
They
correct?
do.
Oh,
They like turning pages.
that's wonderful to hear. Okay, so other than that, who else is using these tech improvements?
Pretty much across the board. One of the things we find out is that today, in order to apply for pretty much any job, you need to be able to get online and do an online resume and do an online application. So we have people who come in and use the library's computers and technology. We have databases that help them prepare their resumes, and they often use our computers actually to do the applications. So this is helping support the workforce. We have a senior surf class Friday, May 13th for older people who need a little help getting on or learning some of the tricks and the new technology. They come in and have a special class that's designed for them that walks them through some of the things. So it covers pretty much the whole range of people who use the technology.
Great. Now, getting to some of the things that you offer classes and workshops, is that correct?
Yes, we do.
And let's just talk about a couple of them. Business skills, what is that one all about?
We have both business skills that are things like technology, like using Word or Excel, trying to keep up your computer skills, because that's a really important part of the jobs stuff. We also sometimes we have a Learn at Your Library on a monthly basis for adults, and this can be anything from learn to crochet to learn, we try and switch it off to have some of them interesting to different people. We have a photography class coming up with a professional photography, getting outside on your camera and learning new things. That's coming up Thursday, May 26th. These are all free classes. Anybody can sign up and learn something new.
It's wonderful. Now, you also cover job and careers.
We have an excellent database and online where you can go in, pull up a form, put your resume in, and it will help you walk through and create a resume that is designed for you, and you can print it off. In addition, it lists online jobs and helps you walk through practice interviews and how to get ready to go on looking for a job.
Okay, now this is online. Would that be online?
This is online, yes.
Okay, I was going to ask the computer skills. That's in person.
Yes,
that would
those
be
are
in person.
those can be in person. We have actual classes with instructors.
Okay, so where do you get these instructors? Who are these people?
Sometimes they're community members. Some of them volunteer their time. Other ones we have grants for some of it, and there's different organizations that we pay. The Science Museum of Minnesota does some of the classes for us.
Wonderful.
Do an excellent job. They send out a trained instructor who walks the class through.
So is that part of your job, is to set this up?
Yes.
So you call somebody at the Science Museum and say, here's what I'd like to have? And
Yes, some of them are county-wide programs, so that somebody in administration sends me the offer so I don't have to do all of it. Other ones are local, and we The staff, I have wonderful, the Oakdale Library has wonderful staff. There's a children's librarian and an adult services librarian, and they're always looking for new, exciting, interesting, and often free, because their budget is limited.
Sure.
People who might want to come share their skills.
Okay. One of the things I've noticed over the years is that when money is short, it seems like the libraries are the first to get whacked with their hours are cut, their staff is cut, and all that. How does that affect you? Not you personally, but the library in general.
Library. One of the things about that is often the times when the use of the library is the highest, which is when times are tough. The use goes up and the budget goes down. During the last recession, library use skyrocketed because people weren't able to pay for as much, and job skill became really important, and that was exactly when we got our hours and cut, which is always a balance. So we always still try and offer the same services regardless. Sometimes it's just stretched a little
Okay,
thinner.
where are you now in terms of, are you on a downslide or upside?
We're on a
or-
rebuilding right now, trying to rebuild some of the things we lost in the last
and getting
time.
some money back, are you?
Some of-
And then getting
yeah.
staff and hours? And,
Yep, we'd like to add more hours. That's something that we always try and do. It's always hard because the people who use the library are such an extreme, from elderly, retired people who 2 in the afternoon is a wonderful time, to young mothers, to people who work, so we need evening and weekend and a lot of different hours. So we're always
Oh,
trying
sure.
to add a variety of hours that fit everybody's schedule.
Absolutely. Now, some of the other things you offer, you have expert help,
Yes.
is what your brochure said, in live tutoring, writing lab, and language lab. Give me a quick rundown on each one of those.
We have, first of all, we have a lot of qualified staff. And we have classes, we have tutoring is not always open, but it's something you make an appointment for. You can do a half-hour reference by appointment slot. So somebody who has specialized needs can come in and say, could I a half hour here, and we would have a person assigned who would know how to do that at that point.
Wow.
And some of the classes, the Woodbury has an ESL class, and so different libraries have different things. So even if we don't have an Oakdale, we always can do the referral.
And you all work together,
Yes,
correct?
we all work together and we share each other. We know what's at the other branches. So even when we don't have something in our building, we can often tell you where you can get it locally.
Okay. Now, this language lab, is this for foreigners, people who have struggle with English?
At the Woodbury, the way they have that, English as a second language, learning stuff. We don't have a language lab at the Oakdale Library as such.
Okay, but if someone would call, you could just refer them out
Yep,
there and
we
get
would
it all
find one
lined
for
up
'em.
there, correct? Okay, and then the other one was the writing lab. Is that what, to teach you how to write better, or what?
We have writing classes. The Loft downtown Minneapolis comes in and does some for us.
Yeah.
They teach them how to write memoirs. We just had one for teens to learn to write a novel, which was really interesting, kind of stretch their boundaries a little bit. We have an online on a regular basis, but nothing that's regularly scheduled.
Oh, that's so interesting. I hope you get this word out a little bit. A lot of this is new things, isn't that correct? I mean,
We change and add and try and grow.
okay. That's why the reason I'm interviewing in the first place is because you had a seminar with our city staff.
Yes.
And Sue Berry, who was
Yep.
our right-hand lady, told us that there's new things happening, and so that's why I'm interviewing you even as we speak. So, but anyway, so it's good to hear that you've got so many things. But I think you have to get the word out, in my opinion.
We try. We do have a Facebook page, and we put stuff out on that, and Twitter, as well as newsletters, and
Okay.
as many different places as we can to get the word
See,
out.
I don't Twitter. I don't do any of that
Twitter
stuff,
either.
so that's why I didn't know anything about it,
Yes.
probably. No. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for joining us, and you're very informative. I know one other thing. If anybody wants any more information, do you have a phone number they could call?
We do. You can call the Oakdale Library at 651-730-0504. Any of the staff, which are very high qualified and really great people to work with, would be happy to answer any questions anybody
Okay.
has.
What are your hours there?
We're open Mondays from 9:30 to 8 at night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 12:30 to 8 at night, Friday from 12:30 to 5, and Saturday from 9:30 to 5.
Sunday?
No Sunday hours at
No
this
Sunday.
point.
Okay.
That is one of the ones we're looking at.
Okay. Well, it's wonderful. You're doing a good job, and I hope that you keep being successful, because libraries and books are just wonderful.
Thank you. And we really, staff at the Oakdale Library is always happy to serve all the people who can walk in the door.
Very good. Thank you for being here today.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Okay. We're just about out of time, but before we go, I want to remind you that the Farmers Market returns on June 8th. The market runs from 2 to 6 p.m. on the north parking lot at Oakdale City Hall. The Farmers Market runs every Wednesday until October 26th and is a great place to pick up a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, a bouquet of flowers, a loaf of bread, dessert, and more. Another upcoming event is the free family picnic and business appreciation lunch on June 16th from 11 to 1 at the Oakdale Fire Station at 5000 Hadley Avenue. This event is put on by the Oakdale Area Chamber of Commerce. And finally, be sure to make plans for the Safe Summer Night event on Tuesday, June 7th from 5 to 7. Join the Oakdale Police Department and your neighbors for a fun and safe evening at Walton Park. Food and refreshments will be provided. That's all we have time for this month on Oakdale Update. For everyone at the City of Oakdale, thanks for watching.